Okay, so here's the, I'm going to go over the answers to the Karyotype Lab. Number of total chromosomes in a normal human cell. There's a total of 46 chromosomes because you get one copy from each parent, so 23 pairs. Number appearance of autosomes in a normal human cell. So since chromosome number 1 through 22 is the autosomes, and that 23rd pair are sex chromosomes, right? So then we should have 44 autosomes, or 22 homologous pairs. The 23rd pair of chromosomes, right? If two homologous X chromosomes are present, typically that's a normal female. If an X and a Y chromosome are present, right, then it's a male. Right? And so you were given a bunch of those sheets to work on. A karyotype is ultimately a picture of our chromosomes. Right? What can karyotypes be used to determine? They can be used to determine the sex of the child, any chromosomal abnormalities, you can think of that as a genetic disorder. That would be like Down syndrome, right? What is an autosome? How do we label and name the autosomes? Those are chromosome number 1 through 22. These are homologous chromosomes, right? Because they're the same always. That last 23rd pair. Sex chromosome is chromosome number 23, either X or Y chromosome. Determines sex of individual. Right? So Patau syndrome has an extra chromosome 13, right? This leads to a lot of abnormalities, cleft palate and lip, broad nose, polydactyl, having extra fingers, small cranium, dysfunctional eyes, heart defects. Happens in 1 in 15,000. Down syndrome, you have an extra 21st chromosome. Edwards syndrome, an extra 18th. That's where we see the trisomy, right? So you have one chromosome from dad, one chromosome from mom, and an extra chromosome from one of the others. That has to do with chromosomal non-disjunction, which occurs during meiosis. Crudu chat. Babies with the cry of the cat syndrome have a cry which sounds like that of a cat in distress because their larynx, which is your voice box, right, located in your throat, right above your trachea, isn't properly developed. And this is having one chromosome number 5 upper arm deletion. So we're actually deleting a portion of one of the chromosomes. All right. How did you know if two chromosomes were a homologous pair? What are the two chromosomes? What made you pair the two chromosomes together? It's by size, right? And then to have that banding pattern. Oops. All right, and so what we mean by banding pattern is, this is obviously sideways, but you guys can get the deal, is see where it's dark right here, and then it's light right there. And so the darker, when you take that X-ray image of the chromosome, where the DNA is more densely packed in, it's going to be darker. So you can match up not only the size, because you can see that chromosome number 12 is in mom's the same size as chromosome number 12 in dad's, it has the same genes on it. But also you can tell that the banding pattern from 11, although it's similar in size, is different. And so they can match it up by that. And so going back here, oops. The 23rd pair of chromosomes determines the sex. The first 23 are homologous, meaning they have the same genes. Is that always true for the 23rd? No, it's not always true, because it is true if you're a female, they're the same, right? But if you're a male, then you have an X and a Y. And so they're not the same, because if you look, right, it is homologous for females. They have the exact same chromosome. There's just two versions of it. But as you can see for the males, the Y is not the same, does not contain the same genes on it. That's not the same size as the female. So those are not homologous. And so you were supposed to do 2 of these karyotypes, right? Either A, B, C, or D, the sex of the patient. Now, right here I have the answers. If you have A, it was a normal female, so you had everything normal, and it had 2 X's. If you had B, right, it was a normal male. If you had C, you should have seen Patau syndrome, which means you should have had an extra chromosome number 13. So Patau is the same as saying trisomy 13. And so what you should have seen, once you pasted them all together, you should have seen an extra one of these. So there should have been 3 of these. And then if you had the scattered D, you should have had Down syndrome. You should have had 3 chromosome number 21s. And so you should have seen 3 of these. So you had extra. So both C and D, they should have had 47 chromosomes, whereas A and B should have had 46, one being female, the other one being male. And C was female, so she had 3 chromosome number 13s and 2 X's, and then D was 3 chromosome number 21s, trisomy 21, and an X and a Y.